The Grays Harbor County community is outraged at the death of a child, and one lawmaker is drawing comparisons to another heartbreaking and similar tragedy from that area.
Today, Fox 13's AJ Janavel spoke with Representative Jim Walsh about the investigation into the death of Aiden Bevins and why Walsh thinks state law needs to change immediately to protect other families.
Little boy Aiden Bevins was discovered, he'd been buried informally, I guess you would say, not in a good way, in the back of a backyard of a house in Aberdeen, and something bad happened.
Representative Jim Walsh, whose district includes Aberdeen, tells me Aiden Bevins was in the foster care system for a while, but Walsh says Bevins was returned to his biological parents.
A lot of people in the area are concerned because the details here are very similar to an earlier similar case, the case of Oakley Carlson, a little girl who went missing and is presumed dead.
Carlson, whose body was never found, went missing back in 2021. She was also in the foster care system for years before CPS returned her to her biological parents. They both served time for exposing Oakley's siblings to meth, but never for the death of Oakley Carlson.
Child Protective Services and the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, DCYF, are kind of handcuffed in how they can remove a child from a troubled home environment.
Passed the same year of Carlson's disappearance, but didn't go into effect until 2023. The Keeping Families Together Act's goal was to crack down on racial and economic inequity within CPS.
There's a lot of concern that this Keeping Families Together Act, while well-intended, has had the opposite effect on children's well-being.
Well, that was AJ Janavel reporting. Fox 13 Seattle reached out to the Department of Children, Youth, and Families for comment. However, they told us they can't speak on this case due to the active investigation. Now, the Keeping Families Together Act was a hotly debated topic in this year's legislative session. Republican lawmakers filed several bills to amend the law that would make it easier to remove a child from a potentially dangerous home, particularly when parents are using dangerous drugs like fentanyl. They argue that the law sets too high a standard for removing a child from a home, and it's often too late once that threshold is met. Democrats contend courts have gained clarity in recent years that children can be removed from homes where synthetic opioids are present, and there is a difference of opinion among lawmakers on the best way to keep kids safe. All of the efforts to amend the Keeping Families Together Act this year stalled in committee.